Hello and welcome to VNatomy, Veterinary Anatomy and Physiology for students studying animal science, veterinary science and veterinary nursing. In today's lesson, we will be looking at the bones which make up the cranium. This is the caudal part of the skull which houses the brain. For an overview of different areas of the skull, please see the previous video. Other areas of the skull will be covered in a future video. Due to the symmetry of the skull, most of these bones are paired. I will be showing one lateral view and either a dorsal or ventral view to show the locations of these areas. It is not always possible to see the suture lines on an adult skull where the bones fuse together, so often these are referred to as areas rather than individual bones. The frontal aspect forms what we would consider the forehead area. It makes up part of the border of the orbit and includes the frontal sinus. This air-filled structure is variable in size between different dog breeds. It is largest in dolichocephalic breeds such as the greyhounds and much smaller in brachycephalic breeds such as pugs. The lacrimal bone is located on the medial aspect of the orbit. Its name refers to tear production, and indeed this is the area through which tears drain from the eye into the nose through the lacrimal duct. Projecting laterally is the zygomatic arch, in humans colloquially known as the cheekbone. The zygomatic bone forms the most rostral part of this arch and the ventral part of the orbit, with the temporal bone making up the more caudal part. The zygomatic arch is the insertion or attachment point for the masseter muscle, one of the main muscles involved in mastication or chewing. The temporal bone is located on the caudolateral aspect of the skull and, as well as contributing to the zygomatic arch, also forms the articular surface of the temporomandibular joint. The temporal bone also houses the structures responsible for the sense of hearing. The tympanic bulla is a rounded prominence on the ventral part of the skull which houses the structures of the middle ear. The opening to the tympanic bulla is the external auditory meatus, which in life is where the tympanic membrane or eardrum is located. The cartilages which form the external ear canal were also attached to this area. In addition, the hyoid apparatus also attaches to the temporal region of the skull via a synchondrosis, a type of cartilaginous joint. The floor of the cranial cavity is formed by the sphenoid, which is often known as the sphenoid complex as it is formed by smaller bones which fuse together. Many blood vessels and major nerves pass through various foraminae, or holes, in this bone. The parietal bone forms the dorsolateral wall of the cranium. Along with the more caudal part of the frontal bone, the lateral surface of the skull forms the temporal fossa, which is the origin point of the temporalis muscle, another major muscle involved in mastication. Dorsally, the sagittal crest forms a ridge of bone to aid in this muscle attachment and is more prominent in certain breeds of dog. Typically, brachycephalic dogs have a flatter sagittal crest. Finally, the most caudal bone of the skull is the occipital. The nuchal crest is easily palpable continuing on from the sagittal crest and is often used as a landmark for collection of cerebrospinal fluid, CSF. This area provides attachment sites for the nuchal ligament, which runs along the dorsal part of the spine. A large hole called the foramen magnum is where the spinal cord exits the skull. Either side of the foramen magnum are paired processes known as the occipital condyles. These articulate with the first cervical vertebrae, or atlas, to form the atlanto-occipital joint. Lateral to the condyles are the jugular processes, which are the sites of attachment of the digastricus muscle, which attaches to the mandible to open the jaw. You should now have a better understanding of the bones and areas of the cranium. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and please remember to like and subscribe to see future videos. Thank you for watching.